Hello and welcome to the third part of my STASIS blind walkthrough. I have played a little bit with my microphone settings today, so I hope it will be much better than the last two videos, because they were too quiet for my liking. Anyway, in the last episode we were repairing the tram station B because it was highly toxic and we needed to solve some puzzles and get into another tram station which we found out destroyed, and yeah, we find some alternative means of transporting as a biological specimens, and we found 5 possible travels. We need to get to Medical Bay, but I will be trying to get to some other places as well and probably die a few times. But I'm just really curious how to get there. Okay, the first one will be the limb regeneration. I'm really curious what will happen. Yes, this one, and... doesn't work. I have it correct. Okay, let's try Project Kitchen Knife. No. Does this mean that only medical is available? Let's see. This. And... Looks like only Medical Bay is available. I try to set up the hydroponics, and if it will not be able to change, then I will use the Medical Bay and go there. No, hydroponics is not set up as well, so the only possible outcome is Medical Bay. A little bit sad, but whatever. Okay. let's go.
This is either brilliant or very, very stupid.
I'm gonna say both.
Quantum devices are not permitted in specimen storage. Quarantine procedures initiated. Quantum storage device reset.
Okay, let's see what we can see.
It definitely looks like the medical facilities. I think I'm on the right track.
Yeah, you're on the medical bay, level 1. Your daughter is 4 decks below you. She is so close, John.
So close.
Okay. The search for my daughter can begin.
This is strange. I'm not reading any PDTs in your area. They should remain active. Even on the
Tell me, John, why are you working with this jackal?
Dr. Milan.
She's been talking about me.
Look, I'm nobody. I just want to find my family.
Without a family, man alone in the world, the impulse with the cold. Are you trembling, John? Because make no mistake, you are alone.
John, are you there? I'm jamming from the comm system. What did he say?
He knew me. He knew my name. Could he help us?
John, this is happening because of him. He did all of this.
This is all too much for me, dear. I'm just a school teacher.
I can promise you that I want to find your family as much as you do. We're in this together.
Yeah, probably. We can get killed by the machine guns. Oh, we lost everything.
Never liked chocolate.
Lucky me. Let's see what will happen if we... Funny. It would probably kill us if I did not do that. Like this. Okay. That number 4.
Never liked Coca-Cola.
Okay, so the only possible way is to go to the through the exposed duct. Okay, let's go for the pistol first. It's empty. Too bad. Let's check the dead body.
Found the body too. He's pretty bloodied up.
And that body is Stephen Dryson. So his log, May 18th, more power outage today. Damn it, I thought they had a lid on that. People have been way cranky than usual. One of my boys just broke down today, shaking and scratching like he was suffering from withdrawal or something. I checked with the nurses who examined him, and it seems like there was some sort of drug in his system. He swore blind he wasn't dirty and hadn't been taking anything, but they're already preparing a tribunal for the poor guy. The thing is, I believe him. Everybody's been acting a bit peculiar lately. November 6. What's happening to my beautiful shape? That crap is growing up the spine of this baby like a cancer. I keep mailing Dr. Malan about this, but he hasn't responded to any of my messages. I know he's reading them, because I get more of those stooges from hydroponics down to collect samples whenever I send more than a few words his way. I managed to corner his assistant the other day and demanded to know when he'd be getting our share of rations. She looked at me, she hadn't slept in a week, and said, "Soon. None of us are sleeping properly." I try to greet each day with a smile, but the branches are getting panicky, if not mutinous. I spend my time breaking up fights instead of maintaining the engines. I was thinking of taking a group down to the engine ports and torching that shit off the hull, but I'm worried it's too late for them now. December 20th. No more engineers, no more hope. When you take those things away, you got nothing left. I'm dictating this wedged under main security terminal. I don't think any of those things will hear me. The rest of the survivors are holed up in the bulkheads, but nobody was willing to risk leaving until we had some sort of protection. I pointed out we'd either starve or die anyway, so they voted overwhelmingly for me to try and get help. So I came down here through one of the maintenance access tunnels and programmed the security terminal to mark any individuals with their PDTs still implanted as hostiles. That should at least get the turrets on our side. I'm not sure it will work, but it's all I could do. I'm all alone now. Hell, I'm used to it. Never met the right girl and all that. I'm pretty sure I heard Lottie screaming, you know. They're probably all dead now, but I can't know for sure. I could hear those things peeling panels off the floor and walls like they were paper. And I'll be damned if they'll find me covering under the floor like that. Guy Fawkes jumped with the noose around his neck when he was about to be executed. Did you know what that? They were going to half strangle him and then rip him to pieces, but he cheated the executioners, breaking his own neck before they could carry on torturing him. I'm going to do likewise. Got a gun for my protection, see? Only one bullet left, but no matter, I'll only need one. Notices and reports. Anyway, that doesn't explain why the gun was so far away from his dead body. Okay, notices and reports. Personal data tags. From Dr. I.L. Rajkupa to all staff. Personal data tags. Dear all, for those of you who are still able to receive the news messages on the intranet, you'll know by now that the creatures are using our PDTs to proceed past security checkpoints. To prevent this, I have decided that in each intern you'll proceed under armed guard to the primary surgery pod, where your PDTs will be removed. Once this is done, we will reprogram the security protocols so they will be target all creatures that still possess these tags. Do not answer the doors to your quarters unless confirmed by the designated password. Today the word is Aegis. Emails, inbox and outbox. From Acid Ryzen to all engineers, the situation. This is how it is. The unified substance is still spreading. It's followed up engine ports D through G. And after a brief confab with the drive engineers, I can tell you that it's having a detrimental effect on the efficiency and speed of the engines. The long and short of it is that the ship is seriously slowing down. The only thing accelerating is the speed of the fungal growth. Its origin is unknown, although we're narrowing it down. This is a crisis situation. Use the hardest stuff you can find to remove it from the fixtures and the drive plates without actually endangering the protective casing of the drive cores. Good luck, guys. Steve Bryson, Chief Systems Engineer. So we know more. What was slowing it down? Centrigon base and nowhere else to go. Okay.
Probably not a good idea. I don't know what I was thinking there. No. Crazy. Oh, God.
Should we get some bullets out?
I can't see it working like that.
No.
I hate doors.
One override. Coming up. Shit, John! The security systems in medical are inaccessible. It's like they've been locally reset. I can't access anything.
I'll think of something.
Glass door. Probably this will help.
I think that'll just break it.
That's what I wanted to do. Break it.
Wow.
That was fun. Blood, but no bodies. Probably a good time to save.
Warning. This area is off limits to all active PDT users. Please see your supervisor for further instructions.
That makes no sense! All PDTs! That's everyone! They must have changed security settings. Stop anyone from heading down below.
Or coming up.
A lot of blasters. Sentry gun is this place. I hope there is no more of it here. Erika Boxer, April 16th. That utter jerk. I cannot believe that as what kind of a man dumps a girl on their anniversary. Poor Danikas in hysterics. I had to swap my shift in a company that brick. Sadie made it easy enough. She's such a good friend to me. We were inseparable at nursing school. We were inseparable at nursing school until she decided to branch out into Britannia. Seems she suited more to general medical research than patient care. That's fine, I don't mind. I prefer working with people to plant some anyway. The new walkway in Hindrubunix is a bonus too. Some of our boys like to stretch their new limbs around the greenery. You said that the developments were of no use. This is selfish, I know, but damn it, I've had so much on my plate. I having to do serious overtime and then ungrateful turds like Eric mean I've got even more to deal with. My poor baby sister. Body of a 30-year-old woman, mind of a 16-year-old girl. Apparently he says being the pilot of the Ozymandias is just too much pressure on the relationship. As is that sweet little co-pilot he recently acquired. I've had it up to here with pilots. Are they ever chasing tail? Well, tonight should be okay, as I've got Danica coming around with some of the girls. And a shipment of Martian champagne. July 10th. The budget increase is proving to be a blessing and a curse. We've got more equipment for sure, but nowhere near enough space for it. If only the Groom Lake was one of those modular types, we might be able to get some extra room. Sadie and I are working our butts off around here. God bless Sadie. If it wasn't for her, I'd probably be an alcoholic by now. Danica is still not over her douchebag ex and calls me up crying most nights just to talk about how she misses him. Next time I see him, I'm going to punch his lights out. I worry about Danica. She's depressed, not eating, not sleeping. I might ask Gracia to book her in for an appointment. She needs a shrink. Work-wise, the regeneration tanks are working beautifully, but the increased demands for them means we're running short of chemical dissociation reagents, and the cell growth regeneration fluid is pretty much spent. Speaking of the fluid, it is this new stuff Dr. Balance unit has had using. It's technically the same as the last stuff, but I'm sure the molecular composition is different. Apparently, it's 4 times as effective. It seems kinda unpredictable actually. I asked Dr. Harvey to request that we switch back to the old one, which he has done twice. Why are they ignoring us? September 18. Crazy huge brawl in the mess hall today. All of the guys sweating and looking like they ODs or something. There's been a spike in violent assault. I'd swear it has to do something with the new supplies that came in. Everything's that new regen fluid, it seems like everything else is slightly off too. I'm sure of it. Diet, medicines, genetic samples, you name it. I spoke to Sadie and she also swears there's been tampering. The idea that we've been ingesting bad food for months scares the shit out of me. I'm going to get a friend of mine to analyze some samples. Until then, I'm locking my door at night. I'm not sure I can trust. Sadie's been giving me strange looks too. I might actually change the lock. December 19th. I don't care anymore. I just don't care. I have to see Danica. I have to. She's with 2 other near the hangars and I'm stuck here in medical. 2 rifles taken from Malone and Bert and laser scalp. That's all we have to get there. Sadie keeps fighting me on this and making excuses. She's starting to piss me off. Has that idiot forgotten where we are? That the Groom Lake is now a freaking hunting ground and my sister is in the middle of it? I don't fucking care if they don't come with me. I have to see my sister. I have to know about Danica. I heard her on the radio a day or so ago, so I know she's still alive. She has to be hiding. Danica was always better than me at hide and seek back home. It took hours to find her. Once Mom sent a search party for her, and she's been hiding at the bottom of the garden, tucked inside a dirt hole where Dad was planting beets. She's hiding. She has to be. Sadie is causing me a problems. If she won't come with me, I guess I have to make her come along, whether she wants to or not. Emails, inbox and outbox. From Elma's grave to e-box of food enhancement report. Dear Erika, I was under the misapprehension that your request was perhaps just paranoia, but given the tests I performed on the provided samples, well, I have to be honest. Its implications are frightening. I will generally concur with your initial theory that some batches just went bad, but there is clearly much more than spoilage at work. You have to understand that when batches like this are spoiled, they are all spoiled, not just a few. The fungus, for instance, was spread through samples, but there is an astonishing difference between the samples you sent me, Some seems to have been cultivated quite for the qualities they demonstrate. Did you know the brassica sample is enhanced with a genetically enhanced form of PCP? I know this because I tested the sample on one of my rats. The poor little thing lashed out violently, suffered a seizure, and then died. The precise name is DV8-5. A drug that was popular for enhancing the abilities of so-called remote viewers during the eugenics wars. Laboratory created stuff, all designers, all professional. The most alarming part is that owing to the different genetic strains seems only 5 samples used for analysis. I get the impression that these contaminants were deliberately distributed to both staff and patients. I am not sure what lunatic would do such a thing, at least of all on long-haul lab ship. I've already sent a request to my superiors at the ministry to examine the matter further. On an informal note, please look after yourself, Erika. You were always my best pupil, and I'm pleased you choose to confide in me. I do apologize that it has taken so long to get back to you. Be careful. With fondest affection, Luke, Professor L.H. Musgrave, University of Tampa, Florida. Okay, looks like more stuff is getting to the surface. We got some shitty food, which was injected with some even shittier stuff. Let's go search for... Hopefully there will be no more sentry guns.
I think I found the crew.
Are they also bloodied up, like the guy under the floor?
You could say that. I'm not sure how many people I'm looking at. It's like something from a eugenics wall painting.
Try to push through, John. A few decks below, one step at a time.
Okay. Check another video. Sadie A. Callister, the girl which the Erika was writing about. September 18, raise a huge brow in the mess hall today. I thought that becoming the new head medical tech on this deck would actually improve things, but it's like being thrown into the lion's den. Lockdown a few months back was a pain, but these inventory discrepancies are the real problem. And then yesterday the systems went haywire. The first thing Erika does, of course, is call up her little sister to make sure she's okay. I suppose I can understand that. I just wish that, well, I wish she'd ask after me sometimes too. Yesterday, during the power outage, I was locked inside a storage room for 2 hours, but Danica's fine, of course. So who cares about me? I was only trapped in a protect storage room with only creatures and human limbs for company. I took a look at them actually, it's part of my job, with the plants anyway. And I had to do something to keep my mind off things. Good specimens, all of them, except for samples 99D, E and F. I couldn't for the life of me work out why samples this badly mutated would be permitted anywhere near the greenhouses. These are recent too, dear God. What imbecile shipping sent these to the storage? Kane's hydroponic zone have the strictest quarantine regulations in the galaxy, punishable by losing your damn job. It must be that the new section a few floors down, they've got all kinds of fools on the payroll. You know, I usually like to spend time in the greenhouses, but I swear something's going funny with some of the new crops. Erika said I'm probably just imagining it, but I had a whole bunch of brassica gross cultures thrown out the other day showing signs of what looked like Dutch elm disease. How is that possible? I'm going to submit a report. How I'm supposed to explain to Dr. Malan and the board that we have mutant cultures in storage and perfectly good crops with extinct diseases in another mother. September 20. Erika's lost her damned mind. I'm scared out of my mind right now. She's dragged us fools around across the ships to look for Danica. I tried to tell her how I saw one of those things wearing Danica's face the other morning. Oh god, it makes me want to puke just thinking about it. It looks like a deflated balloon as it's scuttled up the walls. I swear Ingratia fried with a bolt, but we can't be sure. He's a psychiatrist, not a soldier. Then again, are any of us soldiers? Erika seems to think we're in the Marine Corps, waving around the rifle with a crazy look in her eye, threatening to kill anyone who disagrees with her. Erika, I told her, you are a nurse. God, I barely recognize her anymore. What happened to my best friend? What happened to that girl from Stokely, Mississippi? I don't know who Erika Boxer is anymore. December 24th. Erika died this morning. My friend is gone. One of those horrific things tore her spine out of her body right in front of my eyes. I must be one of the last ones alive. Not that I've got long. I'm infected with something. I can feel it. I checked out the hydroponics labs this morning. It's a wreck. I could help tell them. Anyone could help tell them that trying to breed a new fungus to kill the old one would be disastrous. The rest of it won't budge. I tried tearing it away with the laser scope Erika gave me, but it did nothing. Zilch nada. What doesn't kill it really does make it stronger. I'm going to retrieve Erika's remains later. I know she died a crazy woman, but she was my friend. I still love her. Notices and reports. Personal death attacks. From Dr. I.L. Dear all, for those of you who are still able to receive these messages on the internet, you'll know why that creatures use GOG improvised to security checkpoints. Okay, we had this one before, so back. Inbox and outbox. From S.A. Callister to Dr. G. Melandry. Inventory anomalies. Dr. Malan, first allow me to apologize for mailing you directly, but this is classified with emergency. I've undertaken further inspections beyond samples 99D, E and F and found that the majority of our inventory has been compromised by tampering. There are signs that the tampering began some time ago. Some of the materials are merely spoiled, but a large quantity appears to have been illegally modified. I'm not sure who the new suppliers are, but the inventory they have provided does not match the chemical fest included. I'm aware this is a shipping concern rather than a hydroponics one, but Project SEED is based around our successful cultivation of nutritious plants in unusual conditions. With the current stock we possess, there is no limit to the number of illegal or mutated nutrients going into our plant growth. I'll advise that shipping and medical begin more throughout the inspections of the received cargo. I suspect the problems could go back for months, although I have no evidence to prove this. Please recommend immediate termination of supply runs and decontaminations of irrigation pipes until it is resolved. Best regards, Sadie Callister, Hydroponics Technician Level 1. From Erika Boxer to S.A. Callister. Encrypted. Sadie, I love you very much, sweetie, but have you lost your damn mind? Those samples are restricted. What if Dr. Malan finds out you brought samples from out of the storage base? It's not only your job you'll be losing. I'll do what you ask, but only because you've never been wrong before. Though I pray to God you are this time. Love, Erika. Ah. What the fuck is that? The oozing red contains influx of bone and masses of tissue. Any more stuff hidden? Okay, let's go here. Just safe, to be sure. Sick. You can't begin to estimate how many lives were ended here.
Serotonergic receptors are present in your principal vascular system.
Profanity, derogatory comments, or other intimidating actions directed at Kane security employees will not be tolerated.
Charged plasma molecules dart across the surface of an invisible electrical field. Let's die. To get inside somehow.
That's just crazy. Although... maybe. No.
People. Oxygen storage tank. Organic receptacle. Interesting. Let's check it.
I'm back. It's been cut up.
Of course! They must have manually removed the PDTs. That's why the security systems were reset in medical.
Oh, the bodies. The bodies in the crew quarters. They were skinned. The creatures were using the PDTs to move through secure areas.
Must have realized what was going on.
So for me to get to the lower decks...
You have to remove your tag.
Remove?
Perhaps electric shock. No, that wouldn't work. John? This is the only surefire way.
What are you saying?
The surgery pod should already be programmed to remove it.
It didn't work out so well for this poor woman.
It's the only way, unless you space jump between decks.
This is surgery.
John, prep the pod.
A high-end surgery pod sophisticated enough to perform any operations with a tiny margin for error. Okay, let's check these battles.
Said the pod is not properly prepared for the selective program.
This is a friendly reminder that thought crime does not entail death. This is a final request for Ripley B. Uno to report to communications meeting.
Let's read the papers. Asaya Helrachkopa. January 8th. A new year for the chef surgeon. And a new year for the staff of the medical deck. I have to think of it that way, or it gets rather confusing. The staff of the medical deck now consists of 3 extra sections. Cybernetics, tissue regeneration, and for some reason medicinal hydroponics. Yes, it may be medicinal, but as I told Dr. Malan, they are still plants. I don't wish to seem ungrateful, but it is K Incorporation who opened so many new doorways for me and who redefined the frontiers of medicine for us all. As a man who served his apprenticeship on the battlefields, elbow deep in the blood of innocence, to see those deserts and war-torn villages reborn as images of Nirvana is a privilege, and all thanks to the science of K. And yet, it's hard to understand why on the middle, like so many departments, are baying funds to share resources like this. I hear our budget will be up for review soon, and the chances of us getting an increase are slim. I shall try to remain positive. February 18th. My goodness, a 300% budget increase. I have not yet been able to even imagine how helpful this financial windfall will be. Dr. Malan assured me that a sizable portion of this budget will be applied to Project Seed. It makes our work that much more essential. We'll order new equipment and new samples. Although I don't totally agree with the ethics of Dr. Malan's acquisition of volunteers for surgery and testing, the leaps and bounds we made in our research more make up for the rest of it. Is it wrong that we must test limits of morality for the greater good? Of course it is. May 4th. I'm a surgeon who has seen many awful things in the blood-soaked abattoirs of the Pangea Wars, so perhaps this should be a second nature to me, but I don't recall agreeing to the use of children for testing. I went to inspect the stasis tubes at the request of my chief nurse and found that there were several children, some as young as 9 years old, awaiting processing. Children. I was shocked and appalled and demanded the explanation from Dr. Malan. Edward Jenner had to test vaccines on children to see if they work. He said, I knew the story. What medical does not. Jenner injected infected purulent exudates into the child's arm, which must have seemed callous disregard for the child's life, and yet it saved the boy. That is how he convinced me. We are at the frontier of the science. Chances must be taken. I do not always feel comfortable with these ethical choices, but his logic is sound. The research is too valuable for us to let a few animals get in our way. December 17. I fear that my decision to become a senator with K Corporation is not quite as simple as I thought. The first casualties of the infection spreading across the ship came to my lab, where we had to set up a quarantine operation. I had to get hands-on with the patient for the first time in years. The flow of blood, the cutting of infected tissue, using my specialized tool. God forgive me, but I enjoyed it. It's impossible to explain the adrenaline rush from playing God in such a way, of having the lives of so many on the verge of death in your hands. I felt it on the battlefields, and I feel it now. It is not the beauty of birth that moves me, it seems, but the pungent stench of death. I thought I joined Kane Corporation to save my soul. Instead, it is to slake the thirst of the beast in me, whose jaws lower at the scent of blood. I'm ashamed. December 20. How could I have not seen it? Those awful life forms are disguising themselves as us, inside us. They wear our skins and our PDTs, which explains how the security systems cannot detect them. If I didn't already know where those creatures came from, this would perhaps be less frightening. But they're learned vile abominations. Abomination? Whatever that is, it appears to summarize what I, we have created in our hubris. We have created evil. God help us all. Notices and reports. The same with the Aegis password. Emails from Dr. C. Beckman to Dr. I.L. Rajgopal analysis report. Dr. Mellon has recalibrated his guidelines for subjects in Project Seed, and specifically the requirements for any female subjects to have previously been pregnant. The female subjects should ideally have been screened, but their precise source is not important. Since the project has a 99.89% chance of non-fatal reaction in subjects, members of staff will be eligible for this test. The ideal subject is as follows. Blood type 0- between 5 feet 5 inches and 6 feet, free of any genetic defects, age between 18 and 40. Subjects must have been recently pregnant, ideally within the past year. Regards, Dr. C. Beckman. From Dr. G. Mellon to Dr. I.L. Rajgopal, the nurse. We have disagreed often, but never so more than now. I'm aware that Miss Callister doesn't work in surgery and that the chief nurse boxer has seniority in terms of rank. However, Callister has one of the most extraordinary organizational minds I've ever worked with. The product storage areas are clean and well indexed. Therefore, I have to challenge your demand that I remove her from her positions because of these false reports. She has been sending you about anomalies in the supplies. I have no doubt that your claims are her illicitly taking samples is also only an accusation. She is a fine worker and reports only what she feels is right. I'll be taking no action against her. You are in charge of the project, but you must allow me to choose my stuff at my own discretion. Regards, Isaiah. Yeah. Let's see. Cryopreservation. The thick suicidal is a cocktail of cryoprotectant and synthetic amniotic fluids. What? Empty stasis fluid container. Let's...
I can try to make it fit, but it may break.
Tiny ice crystals appear on the polished surface of the cryotank. Well, we will probably need to run around a little bit. Oxygen storage tank. The steel tank stores oxygen-rich compounds under high pressure. This one.
I don't think this will fit. Organic receptacle, a protein and fat storage container. And this will need...
The organic matter receptacle requires refined biological tissue.
Okay, we have to refine it somehow. Extracted PDT. And now we will need to run a little bit around to find the stuff. Let's go to reception.
From the womb. Oh, never again. It crawled through the night, and then they crafted their eyes and tore through my skin. Oh, never ever, never again. They came for our mothers and then for our kin, scratching the blood and eating their sin, changing God's life, a seed to begin. We burn them with fire and kill them with men. Let us remember, never again.
My dear little girl, you don't know how happy we are to have you with us. Oh, hush, my boys. They serve a very real
Personal detective matching. Personal detective assistance.
Just change it to die. You and I and everybody else. Vitamins, minerals.
This one. Force field off. Elizabeth Swanson.
Kane Corporation, the last truly great company, wants to thank all employees for their dedicated service. This year's profits are up 20% across all sectors. Life expectancy is up 5 years. We are at the cusp of greatness. In the words of Henry Kane himself, humanity has chosen us to do its good work, and together we will not let them down. Kane Corporation.
Okay, fulfills are done. Survivor. I feel like I should save now.
Tia, a survivor.
Is someone alive?
Not exactly. He's in stasis.
It can be dangerous to wake someone from stasis without the proper procedures being followed.
So who the hell woke me?
Forget him, John. You need to think about the mission.
The familiar stasis pod design is the harbinger of stasis sadness. Discard the stasis pod. Empty stasis pod.
No. Crazy.
We'll see. Human torso. The red lights cast long shadows across the victim's face. Relax.
Another body. 2.
Spark Carter. Destroy what destroys you. February 20th. Be still, my beating heart. I saw the most divine creature in hydroponics. She's friends with that nurse Erika. Erika gives me the evil eye, but Sadie just divine things. Curves in all the right places and the face of an angel. I keep trying to come up with reasons to visit the medical hydroponic sections. She never sees me though. I am not trained in medical stuff. Those soldiers in the recovery rooms give me funny looks if I'm at the window trying to get her attention. I have to find a way to speak to Sadie directly. I've seen her head to the decontamination room, and she seems to go there after every shift. I might try and strike up a conversation by one of the machines, maybe offer to buy her a drink. I'll do it tomorrow. Or maybe the day after, because tomorrow I've got a double shift still. It takes a brave man to work on an unknown sciences in the bosom of the cosmos, doesn't it? Like the jokes back at school would ever be able to do what I friggin' do. I risk life and learn to repair essential electronics, and that takes courage. I may not be a soldier, but I think I have the right call. Myself a man of courage. May 20. What's with the shutdown? Jesus, 9 days now. I've been trying to get through to the surgical pods for a week. I gave up going to hydroponics to see Sadie after they started restricting access to unnecessary personnel. So now I just hang around product storage by the vending machines hoping to see her. But when I do, I just choke up. Damn, I'm so pathetic. I'm reading this book by Ariane Sanchez. It's about the eugenics war. It's freaking amazing that we're even allowed to do what we do on the groom like. What happened all those years ago, I have to hide the book though. Dr. Malone saw me reading it in the rec room and he went totally apeshit, threatened to burn the book and fire my ass. So now it stays under my pillow, and I sure as hell don't take it on my rounds. Instead, I bring one of the Penguin series by W.C. Dark with me. Is that his real name? Damn it, I love Major Plowdow. He's incredible. Sometimes wish I'd had the balls to be in the Marines rather than engineering. I'd love to be like him. November 23rd. Rations arrived today. Nobody is impressed. It's all emergency shit, so hardly gourmet. But man, I wasn't expecting much, but this is seriously bad. Because food's short, people are going buck fuck. Lotus punched Malone, broke the poor bastard's nose. Steve's having trouble keeping everyone's fists off each other. I keep asking why we can't just raid hydroponics, but they keep shouting me down, especially Sadie. She looks so pissed when she sees me, but nowhere near as pissed as when she looks at Dr. Malan and Dr. Al-Rajkumpa. She must despise me. Why didn't I just ask her out before? Because you're a coward, Burke. A dirty, stinking coward. December 18th. The power went out again. I'm so freaking scared, I can barely breathe. Those rumors of animals rolling around medical? Not rumors, I say one guy ripped apart by one of those things. Couldn't make it out too well. Pale skin, tail, I think. They move around like a pack of dogs, and they're strong. People are scared and hungry. I kept a small stash of food in my quarters. I didn't even tell Steve about it. I feel ashamed for keeping it to myself, but people are getting crazy. Man, I think it might actually be against regulation to hoard food. Miletta would kill me if he knew I had rations hidden. Come on, the guy's nuts. He practically strangled me the other day. Carswell had to restrain him. body still frigging kills from the operation earlier. Steve has nominated to reprogram the security turrets and the guy just went and did it. He's a hero, not like me. December 24th. No, I'm not just a coward, I'm friggin' murderer. I used those poor bastards in stasis to keep those good awful things from getting to me. I just unlocked the stasis units and began the recovery process, so that when they staggered out of the deep freeze, those things were waiting for them. I found a product storage room that nobody was using and logged myself in. When the breach was reported, I heard the screams. I pissed myself. I fucking pissed myself. Is that any way for a real man behave? As I ran, I saw Sadie cradling her best friend's bloodied body in the corridor. The worst frigging part isn't that it never occurred to me to stop. I just hoped they'd buy me the time I need to find a hiding place. That's who Burke Carter was. Whoever find this, and I know somebody will. He was a coward. I just hope that the computer parts in this PDA come in handy to whoever finds it first. If my hide was this useless in life, the least I can hope is that someone think I left behind will be useful. Notices and reports. Again, the Aggies. And let's pick up the stasis pod ship. This will probably be missing. In the one person still alive. Another puzzle. Four shots in the head of... I make a picture of this. Shot of number 3 into the torso. Or intestines. This looks like the belly. No? This one is correct. It's in the torso, one shot in the torso. 3 shots of number 3. Which will be probably the belly. Okay, so he needs to get into the belly, knees, and then feet. But how? You stay unoccupied by the function. Let's check another close.
No, it's one.
Let's check the different rooms and then nothing here. Oh, this one. Is a clue. And I can't see which body part is this. Let's see. It's number 5. And it's times 1. This one looks like it. So we need the knees and the legs. Yes, this is correct. Looks like one shot. No, he was not a medical.
The last truly great company wants to thank all employees for their dedicated service. This year's profits are up 20% across all sectors. Life expectancy is up 5 years. We are at the cusp of greatness. In the words of Henry Kane himself, humanity has chosen us to do its good work, and together we will not let them down. Kane Corporation. Tomorrow's technology. Today.
Eat for free between 1 and 2 a.m. at Tenson's Moon Lake. Tell them your friend Phil sent you. Tenson's meat that almost tastes sweet.
No, that won't work.
Check. I doubt it will be there.
These don't go well together. Probably not a good idea. I don't think this will fit. This should be useful.
Medtech surgical pot is not properly prepared for the selected program. Medtech surgical pot is not properly prepared for the selected program.
Okay, the last one. The stasis food container. We will need to get from that guy. Probably. But what is the last two sequences?
Maybe. No, that won't work.
Let's check this one more time. Ah, shit, 4 shots. I'm blind. Destroy what destroys you. This one. It looks like one. Let's see. No. Where is the last one?
Steady yourself. You'll be okay. God damn it.
I heard screaming.
Woke him up. The survivor. He didn't didn't make it. I think I killed him. I think I did something.
I told you to leave him. He was dead the minute they froze him. You just made his death easier, simpler.
I just killed a man, Tia.
You need to move before you become another dead body.
Have some mercy.
Mercy? You have no idea how much mercy I have. I've been in hell. Made choices that got people killed. This isn't just about you anymore. I'm sorry. I need you, John.
Okay, so unfortunately the guy didn't survive it, but we at least have this one. It was a little bit worth it. Little bit issue with the finding the right sequence, but I found all the clues. Now let's put this back.
I'm going to have to be awake for this.
You're not helping.
Sorry. Okay. Just shit. Even be careful doesn't cover it.
I'll be fine. I'll be fine. It's not like the power's gonna cut out in the middle of surgery.
Shit, John. Why would you even say that?
I'm about to cut into my spinal cord. I'm allowed one joke.
I'll be monitoring.
Deep breath, old man. You can do this.
Greetings, John and our chat. I am Robin, the automated surgical med pod. Your physician will explain the procedure to you and offer you an opportunity to ask any questions. You may feel some discomfort after the procedure, such as a headache or nausea. Let your nurse know if you are uncomfortable so that you may be given medication and or other treatment. The brain placement begins. Warning, subject is not correctly prepared. Surgery Program 0415 initiated. Magnetic resonance imaging. Power surging core system. Power and core solution.
Rebecca. No. Rebecca. Run. No. Rebecca. Run. No. Rebecca. Run.
John?
I'm here.
I've been trying to contact you. I couldn't hear anything. I thought the worst.
How long was I out?
2 hours.
Okay. Alive. Mostly. But fuck, my back is sore.
3 decks and you'll see your daughter. Focus on that. You should have enough drugs running through you to keep going for a few more hours.
Drugs? I've never been a fan. But these are definitely the good ones.
Wow. This was fucking...
It doesn't work like that.
Doing a surgery on yourself. Fucking crazy. Impossible to take it out. Okay. I wish I had the access to the medical facility where we started. Okay, let's go to the elevator.
A biological quarantine has been initiated. Level 2. Kitchen knife and snowflake are off limits. Level 3. Hydroponics is off limits.
Perfect.
Where are you, John? Without the PDT, I can't track shit.
Hydroponics. Or what's left of hydroponics. The shaft's covered in growth. I'm not going anywhere.
Wait, let me check the blueprints. Yes, hydroponics has a service elevator.
Affirmative.
Keep me in the loop.
Okay, so level 2 was kitchen knife and snowflake. We'll see if we will get there again. Three ways to go, and another course. Where to go first? Another laboratory, another laboratory, another laboratory. Let's go to the left side first.
This is ridiculous. How did it grow this world in a few months?
Corpse, KTM.
These plants can't naturally develop this fast.
Kane developed the technology to accelerate plant growth. Oxygen is big business.
To compare terminals. Let's check them. The vaporizer report. Okay, the vaporizer, the perfect MK5 model of Kane Corporation Trans-State Modifier. Using advanced and unique molecularization technology, the vaporizer has the ability to shift a targeted substance between gas, liquid and solid states without any of the structural breakdowns seen in objects shifted between states on a regular basis. The MK5 is the latest model, but it hasn't yet been rolled into mass production because of the current difficulty fueling the vaporizer with resources on board the Groom Lake. Recent experiments undertaken were more than satisfactory, and it passed the Kane safety and security test with no adverse effects causing harm to the user observed. It has been graded level 4 because of the specific nature of its technology and the limited quantity of existing vaporizers. During an experiment recently carried out on the royal jelly produced by hydroponics, Dr. Gray and the other observers commented on the remarkable speed at which the jelly was transformed into gas, thus placating their insect population. Activate vaporizer.
Vaporizer chamber compromised. Chamber is not yet active.
Of course, it's cracked. Dr. Sebastian Gray, January 2, finally. Finally, we have more room for the Lindsay C. Harvey strain, which I've been working on so hard. It's days like this that humanity truly proves why it crawled out of the ocean before any other. My section has been expanded. I have more staff, true, but they are drones and have little other function. Now we can expand the research potential of Project Kitchen Knife and see what else the plants can yield. The oxygen production rate is quite unlike anything my initial projections could have predicted. Last year it became the worst kept secret on the Groom Lake. And all of a sudden I had more interns than I could comfortably employ. Their only function is to stumble about the place and ask troublesome questions that I have little time to answer. If only our world was more like that of insects. I have plenty of workers and drones, but none of the unwavering loyalty. Bees work and work, the faith in their queen, unquestioning and constant. That kind of loyalty is beyond price. These interns of mine have their uses, I suppose. We always need volunteering willing to get close to the queen. February 16. Am I surrounded by incompetence? One of those imbecilic interns got too close to the queen and she showed him her affection. Quite amazing, though not to him. This means that I must attend another accident briefing with the board. Though Dr. Mallan does love to test me. I see him up on the hearing bench and he grins at me in that supercilious look that he has perfected over the years. I suppose that I have him thank for my current position. It was his recommendation to the board that made them hire me in the first place. Still, I believe he has come to enjoy this little power plays. He does so like to keep me under his heel. That, my dear doctor, is only a temporary situation. Once this project is complete, the chess games that we play so often will no longer be our only battleground. Regarding the project, some of the bug eggs failed to hatch properly. I suspect this is why the queen was more aggressive than usual. There are more than enough drones to continue the collection work. Their unique chemical properties are doing wonders for the plants, although I'm running short of interns prepared to work in close proximity to them since the last incident. The worker I appreciate the most is Akiza. I was astonished to discover that she is related to the legendary Dr. Tenshu of the eugenics wars. I did consider mentioning it to her, but I sense she is oddly ashamed to have him as her ancestor. If it wasn't for men like him, our profession would be a hollow shell of what it is now. Then again, if it wasn't for me, genetic research wouldn't have been put back by several generations. Now would it? The ethical quandaries we face as men of science. June 16th. The insects are restless. They rumble in their apiaries and are more aggressive than usual. My personal deduction is that the presence of the marine thugs aboard the ships are the cause. Armed guards all over the place. I was stopped by one the other day and asked my reasons for going into hydroponics. Well, after explaining I was head of the damn project, I had the guard removed from his post and then the ship. This is insanity. How am I expected to progress with these thugs around? September 23. I recall complaining about the inundation of interns. If only they were still here now. Both Ivan and Theodore disappeared from their room last night, and I had to speak to security about their whereabouts. They were Akiza's assistants, and now the production of the Queen's Royal Jelly has slowed exponentially. That's been a huge blow, but a rather extraordinary anomaly has appeared in our growth path. Hitherto undiscovered strain of fungus. Its origin is something of a mystery to me. This fungal growth fascinated at first. I thought it was a common garden variety mold, but after a substantial analysis performed by Akiza, it seems to harbor neuron activity. That is to say, it seems to exhibit rudimentary signs of intelligence. We've certainly created some unusual species on this deck, but the idea of a quasi-intelligent fungus growing and evolving of its own volition is exciting and frankly frightening. I've asked Akiza and the remnants of her team to cultivate it, but exhibit caution in where it is spread. October 24th. I was asked by one of Dr. Malan's assistants if the fungal substance discovered growing in the bowels of the ship had anything to do with us. I lied, of course, but this is becoming alarming. Our experiment flourished at first. We may have lost more stuff recently, but our experiments have been fruitful indeed. Confidentially, the properties of the fungus is both extraordinary and terrifying. It has the remarkable ability to take control of a living subject's central nervous system and hypothalamus, as observed in the monkey we used for testing. The monkey shrieked and thrashed in rage for the first few days after it was exposed, and then it became quiet, observant, and uncannily intelligent. It's certainly aggressive, but then again, which viruses aren't? December 1st. No! We've officially lost control of the deck. Eden now truly belongs to the beasts. We've seen strange things. I watched as the fungus took control of the deck as it spreads through the stuff, as much to my shame. I watched their deaths and examined their bodies. Nobody can cross the pods because the bugs are so aggressive that when Solomon went through in a red suit, they ripped it from his body and stung him to death. It took mere moments. Still, I live in the hope that the insects will remember me, their creator, and perhaps see me as one of their own. Emails, inbox and outbox. From Dr. Aki's attention to the Dr. S. Gray, my family. Dr. Gray, I do not wish to seem unprofessional or impolite, but I would ask to not press me on the subject of my ancestry any further. I was nearly refused entry to medical school on the basis of my family's background, and the torment I suffered at the hands of my school peers regarding my great-great-uncle was unbearable. I am fully aware of his actions, and I've seen countless photographs and documents of the consequences of his work. I took this position to change our world for the better, not to be reminded of the skeletons in my family's closet. I've enjoyed our working relationship thus far, Dr. Gray, but I prefer my family history no longer be a topic of our conversations. Thank you for understanding, Akiza. From Dr. E.F. Way to Dr. S. Gray. Meal. Dr. Gray, I enjoyed our meal yesterday. It was refreshing to hear a man so outspoken on this ship. I appreciate your candor, and I do agree that perhaps it's time the board was shaken up a little. Although this is merely an observation rather than an action play, I think that the leadership needs some new blood. I'd second you if you decide to take on the challenge yourself. Your impeccable scientific pedigree more than qualifies you. By the way, did you know where they were keeping that new cargo? It seems rather like a waste of resources if they won't even tell us where it is. Regards, E.F. Bay. Okay, they are on James Herbert. No stuff anymore. Metal plug. Let's see this.
I don't think this will fit.
Okay, so I think that this will be it for this episode. It's nearly 2 hours of streaming, and yes, time to get some food, and I will continue the playthrough a little bit later.